everybody. Welcome to
Hello.
Be the Change podcast. We are still talking about, being a Proverbs 31 woman. We're still doing the challenge for the
Yes.
month of August. And so today we are going to, I think each one of us kind of has like an individual day we wanted to talk about, just kind of say some things that's on our mind and on our heart. Um, yeah, is there anything else you want to say about that? We're just moving on with the challenge.
Let's just move on with the challenge. Yeah, I mean it's almost over if you think about it, which is kind of relieving in one breath, but sad in another. So again,
I
I hope,
agree.
we can figure out something else to do. I'll change it up a little bit. There's some things that I was like, "Oh, girl, what were you thinking?" Well, I've never done this before, so I was thinking, "Let's just see what happens."
I think it's been
And
great. I
we'll
feel like there's been a
we'll
lot
go
of
from there, right?
correspondence. Yeah, it's been
Huh?
nice to have I
Yeah.
think it's been, really nice to have the reflections every day, and there's been a lot of participation. So, yeah, I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to seeing, where God leads us next. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. I'm excited. Either way, I'm up for it. Obviously,
Yeah.
he still has me here, so we can't quit yet.
I mean, even if
I'm
we just get on
tired,
here and just
girl.
talk. Besties for the
That's
resties.
it.
We'll just talk
That,
about life.
that's it.
Our
Hey,
lives are crazy enough. We have enough to talk
it
about.
it's all relevant, really. It is all relevant. There you go. Yeah, I wanted to. I don't know. I feel like to go through 7 days and try to figure up something to talk about and keep it small. We'll just pick a day and what touched your heart, what touched mine, and we'll just go from there. I don't know.
Yeah.
So if that
Well,
works for you.
works for me. So for
Yeah.
today, do you want to start off or do you want me to?
No, I can if you want me to, and
Perfect.
that way you can cut me short and get and you're good at that. See, I'm just a rambler, so
You're fine. You're
diarrhea at the
fine.
mouth is what my Mrs. Whitlock is what her name was back in the, I don't know, 6th or 7th grade at the home economics class. Diarrhea at the mouth, she used to tell me, and she's right. So here we go. I wrote
Okay.
mine all down because I do better when I write it down, and these are my feelings. So, and I'm a writer. Here we go. This was for the 13th. It was Proverbs verse 31:17. I guess I should read that. I don't have that ready. Hold on. I'm so
You want me
sorry.
to read it? I have
Yeah,
it.
yeah. If you got it, and then
Yes,
I'll.
sir. 31:17. She draws
Mhm.
on her strength and reveals that her arms are strong.
So, um, yes, I'm not strong, but he is. Praise him for sure because I need him. All right, here we go. So I received some very challenging news the other day in the mail. Um, a closed door, if you will. And while I see the obvious reasons why I probably really didn't want that particular yes, it it really would have been helpful in the moment. And then maybe in the future as well. However, the dependency, excuse me, the dependency on that yes probably wouldn't have been very good in general for my well-being. Anyway, um, so while I probably didn't want that particular yes, it really seems to be the only answer that I can fathom um, that will help um, or take care of the problem, if you will. Um, in order for my anxiety, panic, and feeling helpless to subside, I have to put my trust in Jesus. And I know that He has something way better in store for me. The enemy is loudest when I'm low, excuse me. The enemy is loudest when I am lowest. So I have to constantly remind myself that I know too much about God to let the enemy steal my joy. He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. So I remember Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. So no matter what happens, it has to pass through his hands. And I know when that happens, I will see the benefits. He only wants the best for me, and obviously that wasn't it. I don't know what it is, so we can say that this story is to be continued. I sat with the thoughts that I had over the big shut door and the no. Um, and I don't like to be told no, you know.
I
But
get that.
I had to figure out what I was really feeling and where is the gratitude in that? Because when I get told no, it's like I wanna I wanna throw a little baby fit if I could please. Um, but I need to be better in the gratitude first. Like I know that there's a better thing. So let's just start with that and then I can calm down, you know?
Hmm.
But it's not my strength. It's his strength and only his strength because I can't do this every day.
Yeah,
Uh,
I get the being told no part. I feel like I do better with other people who are not my family. Like if they tell me no, I'm just kind of like, yeah. But there's something about like family or people who are close to me. Austin says, I'm the middle child, and so at times I can be bratty. And so he's like, I can't ever tell you no because I'll pitch a fit. I'm like, what do you mean no? So, and I always have to remind myself to like to be patient and I don't know. I just love what you said because it's just a different reflection, different light into to being strong. I don't know. I'm processing what you said. I love it. I when I was looking over the verses, one that I really liked. Well, I like all of them, but one that I was like, oh, I just for some reason I just want to talk about this one. But it was 31:21, where it says she is not afraid for her household when it snows, for all in her household are doubly clothed. I just realized that rhymes. Sorry. Um, but the thing that we had on our social media was, are we living prepared or panicked? And it was
yeah.
like I think the thing was like, organize an area of your life. And I feel like I'm a pretty organized person. I like to organize things in my home. Physically, like I like to have spaces that are organized. But then when
Mm-hmm.
I got like thinking about that, I don't know, there's just something about like, why is it important? Why is it important to have these things? And then for myself, because I know for everybody it's different. Like some people aren't as organized as others, some people are better at prepping than others. And while I'm organized in areas of my physical home, as far as like, my laundry room's put together, my bedroom's put together. But then for some reason, the clothes part, I'm really bad, me personally, about like rotating clothes or having that, like, not that I don't have clothes or not that I don't have the means to have clothes, but like, it takes my mom being like, hey, your children's clothes are too small for them. And I'm like, oh yeah. And so then I have to rotate. And so for me, it's about, I don't know. I was reading that and I was like, there are 100,000, just thousands and thousands of things in our lives for us to like stay on top of and make sure we're staying organized for our family. And it's very overwhelming. And it's just a lot to think of like keeping a household together, but also preparing and maintaining for your family. Um, so I don't know. I get the panicked part when it was like, are we living like prepared or panicked? But then it's like, how do you fully feel prepared in every area when there's so many areas to be prepared in? But then it's kind of like
Right.
what you were just saying about, the strength comes from him. And so instead of feeling panicked, just do what you can. And I can't remember if I want to say it was maybe a Bible study. I heard it somewhere in the last week, and I don't think it was me and you
Yes.
talking, but it was about like the verse that says, "Don't worry about tomorrow, or don't worry about tomorrow because today has enough worry of its own." And that's
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like that's how we need to be living. Because if we live panicked, I feel like it's because we are trying to make things happen that haven't yet happened. If that makes
Correct.
sense. And then
Yes. And
it's
that's
like,
anxiety comes from that. Yeah.
yes. And I don't feel like that's of God because he wants us to
No.
be present. He wants us to be in the moment. That is not saying we cannot be prepared for things to happen. It's like if you go on vacation, you're going to plan a vacation. You're going to know where to go. You're going to know where you're staying. So you are preparing
Correct.
for it. But that's so you like you're just prepared. There shouldn't be no panic or anxiety coming with it, even though people typically do. But it's the same for like our
Right.
household. And there's all these things to do. It's okay to prepare. Like for me myself, all I think about is food and nutrition most of the time. So it's like it's okay to prepare your food, to prep your food, to know what's going to happen over say the next week. But there's no reason to be panicking. Like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to like just take it as it comes. All you can do is whatever's happening right now. Just take a moment at a
Yeah.
time. Take the anxiety and the stress off of you. Um, but again, I say this every single episode, and apparently I truly believe it with my heart, is oh my gosh, what was I just gonna say? The thought just it's all about mindset. Oh, oh my gosh, that was
That's all right, honey.
scary. That was
Listen,
so
they
scary.
say
What?
it gets less scary the older you get because it happens more. So you get used to it. But no, they say that, watch my mouth, out with the placenta, goes the brain. So it's okay. It's supposed to happen like that. You're totally
I was
normal.
Yeah, I was just talking and my mind literally went blank. But anyways, I was talking about
Mine does
mindset. And
that.
I feel like,
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like it just all has to do with your mindset
it
and
does.
preparing with, honestly, I feel like preparing your home or anything in your home with a loving heart. And again, which I know last week you talked about, self-love, speaking like positivity into yourself. But it's just like believing in yourself and giving yourself a lot of grace. I feel like moms need grace, and you have to start with yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself. It's okay if the dishwasher is not unloaded right now. It's okay if you can't make it to the grocery store right now. Like, just take it a moment at a time, a step at a time, and figure out what you can do without worrying yourself to death, essentially.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that. But that so brought me to the Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily
Mm-hmm.
bread. And we're supposed to, like, that's the prayer, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but that's like the prayer that Jesus prayed, right? And that's the one that we should too pray. Um, but it's always it is all about being in the moment. Because when you're in the moment and you're present, it's so much easier to drown out the enemy, all the distractions, all the dings and the notifications on the phone, and the phone ringing, and the kids barking in the background, and the dog's crying, all the thing, because it gets
Mm-hmm.
crazy. um or your kid is barking in the background. That's what mine do. They did,
Well,
some of them. um
and like
but to
yesterday,
drown it out.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say yesterday,
Yeah.
Austin asked me yesterday afternoon, after he was sometime yesterday evening, he's like, "So, what all did you do today?" And typically, I'm a very go get 'em kind of person. Like, I'm the kind of person that drives people crazy because I just like can't sit down. I'm just like, it's that old teacher energy in me. I'm just like, "Da-da-da," like, what can I be doing now? And so I was just, I typically I like run around the house doing stuff, not in an anxious kind of way. I just enjoy doing it. And so when he asked me yesterday, I said, "You want to know what I did today?" Nothing. Like, and I don't do that
Yay.
every day, but I did not feel guilty about it. I sat on the couch. Charlotte and I stared into each other's eyes. I watched her smile at me and she chuckled a time or two. And I watched Netflix. And then I made, I picked my kids up from school. I made food. And that was my whole day. And at the end of the day, I felt so satisfied because I was like, how often do I do that? And just soaking in the moments. And I know, like, for, having a baby, it flies by so fast. I was like, just sitting there staring at her. I'm not gonna be on my phone. And it's just I just can't help it. She just stares at me and it's just stare. But anyway, so I'm like, having those moments of not feeling guilty because I didn't essentially do anything like I normally do. I took a day to just enjoy every single moment, and that is okay. Right.
I am so proud of you,
Thank you. Thank you.
because yeah, I'm one of those that you make crazy,
I
you
try.
know.
I try.
Um because it's like, yeah, if you don't stop now, you're gonna be forced to stop later, and I don't want to see that. But no, I
Hmm.
mean, not for you, but most people, it gets exhausting,
Absolutely.
and you
Yeah.
do need a minute to do that. And she will only be this size for a little while. And yeah, you should soak it up and learn to get to know one another, because that's what this period of time is about. And yeah, Netflix and chill with Charlie. I'm all about that. Are you kidding? I'm proud of you, because
Thank you.
I know that's not something. I mean, thank God I was sitting down, I'd have fell. So I'm proud of that. For real.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
That's good. Because yeah, I don't think, while you and I haven't been um friends, for a very long time, I have not known you to, I mean, even carrying her on the inside, I was like, dang, I need a nap, and I was only on the telephone with you or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch you, but it's like, yeah, I'm listening to all the things you're doing, and I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. No, I need a
Often
vacation
I,
after that.
yeah, we crack jokes that it's like, sometimes in the evenings or things like that, we've just been going all day. Like one time he looked at me, he said, "You do realize other people don't live this way." I was like, what do you mean?" And he was like, "Other people like don't, I guess at the time, like we've had this conversation before, I was working full time, having babies, getting my doctorate, doing a side business. He was like, "People don't do that. Like that is not life." And I was like, okay. I was like, "What do
Golly,
people
no.
do?" He was like, people go
Well,
to work and come home with their families. Like, that's it.
yeah, yeah. Like, no, we don't do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No,
But
but
all of that to say, I
I
just,
think all of that is great though. And if you enjoy it, do it. But you should learn to enjoy the simple things too, of just yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning alongside everybody else who's watching this. We all
You
learning
are,
things
and I'm
together.
proud. Yeah,
And
no, I think it's great. I do. I love it. I do. 100% I love that. I don't know. What did you learn by just being yesterday? Like, nothing burned down. The kitchen was fine because it waited. Like, the dishes weren't hollering at you, right? I mean, life didn't fall apart because you took a moment to step out, right?
things have been hitting me different lately. So I guess I was so go, go, go with both of my other two. Sorry about the spit up. It looks so crazy. But everything has
Hey,
always been,
it's a fashion show.
oh, it is.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
But everything's always been so busy and a little chaotic in my life. Chaotic in the best way. Like I have created it for myself. It's the life I have chosen for myself. So I've always loved like what I do. And when we had the two boys, we did a lot of traveling. I mean, we do a lot of traveling, period. Um, so it's just always been go, 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 and it's always been enjoying the moments of going. Like we go places. I watch kids that way, see all these moments, which I think are great. And it was just like
Yes.
yesterday, or I guess since having her, it's only been a month, but I have found myself reminiscing more in just the small moments. Like, I'm not typically a crier, but this go around I have been. I don't know if it's the girl hormones or what's happening. But
Oh yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be
yeah,
the
but like
girl, huh? I mean,
yesterday I tried to put her in a newborn outfit and it didn't fit her anymore. So then I started crying because she wasn't the newborn size anymore. And then I just like cry over everything. And this is not I tried breastfeeding and this is probably TMI, but women that watch this, right? So um, my breast milk just pretty much dried up on its own. I was pumping like nothing, was feeding nothing. She was losing weight from it. So I had to stop that. And I told myself I was never going to get to a point where I felt crazy for trying to do something. I was just going to do whatever, benefited her, made her the healthiest. And so when I made the decision, after speaking with a professional, when I made the decision to stop, it was like I wanted to cry. I wanted to be like, oh, I can't provide for my own daughter. The woe is me, like feeling sorry for myself. But then I changed it to it is what it is. My body is doing its own thing and she's going to thrive no matter. But also I changed it to, okay, so now I don't have to spend over an hour for feedings at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now I can just feed her a bottle and I can be more present during the day versus tired and exhausted. So I changed that mindset to just focus on being present. And so it was like yesterday, it's like I could have cleaned the kitchen. I had like there were dishes in there to be unloaded and loaded, but something inside me was like, just sit here and just hold her. Because she's 1 month. So like I was telling you earlier, like she feels so secure and safe with me holding her. And the second I like she could fall asleep, and the second I put her down, she's like, alert, somebody put me down. Like I want to be held. And then, some people are like, oh, you need to put that baby down. But I'm like, no, she's only a month old. She wants me to hold her, to love her. She wants to feel safe and secure. And I'm all for that. And so yesterday, I essentially got nothing done because she wanted to be held, but like I didn't care. I sat there, it was just like the peaceful moment of, I mean, for a while, there was not even a show playing, like no Netflix. That was just for a little bit. So it was like the house was quiet. It was just me and her. We were just sitting there, and it was just so incredibly peaceful. Not being, I mean, I don't know if you've experienced that type of peace. I feel like you know what I'm talking about, but it was just the simple peace. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just that's kind of like the stage I'm in right now. She's a great
Yeah.
baby, and then it's just enjoying the little moments. And yes, I'm crying more, but her when she was first born, she wasn't pooping regularly, which made me think she wasn't getting enough. Like she wasn't gaining weight. We were
Right.
having some of those issues at the beginning. Well, then, now we've kind of gotten things regularly. She's using the bathroom more. And then for her to grow out of a newborn onesie, yes, it made me sad because she's growing. But it's like, but she's growing. She's thriving. She's doing all the things she's supposed to do.
And
So
that's funny because I was going to say to you, well, wait a minute now. You were praying just a minute ago about her outgrowing those newborn clothes. So,
uh,
you know, yeah, but you're right. And I'm glad that, see, I love this. This is wonderful. Yeah, because you're right and you get it. Um, but let me ask you this. So I am one who holding the baby and, cooing at it and all the things. But then I'm also like, okay, I got to go do X, Y, and Z. And now I'm going to get aggravated because I can't get up to go do X, Y, and Z. So imagine the atmosphere if you would have brought that anxiety, right, into holding
mhm,
her and trying to make her feel secure. Babies
mhm.
pick up on it. I don't care what you say. They do. Um, versus being in that moment and enjoying that simplicity, you're actually giving her now that security that she's wanting versus the feelings of the anxiety of not being able to get up and do something that your household needs you to do or whatever. um
Yeah.
Going with it as as you should instead of against it, because when you're going against it, nothing good comes from that. And the
Yeah, and
security and the
also,
relaxation you don't bring to
mhm.
her because you're not bringing it for yourself,
Absolutely.
right?
And I
Mhm.
know like people, and this is not, I don't want this to come off as like a brag about myself or like I feel like I'm holier than thou because I'm not. But I do have a pretty goofy personality and I know that about myself. And that doesn't mean I don't take things seriously, but like I like to joke. I like to make people laugh. I like to have a good time. And I have always been that way around my children. There are
Yeah,
times for discipline. They definitely get in trouble from me, but like there's
I
also a
know, and
lot
it
of
hurts my heart.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, that discipline matters. But
I
we
know.
do we do a lot of joking and laughing. And so instead of, bringing the anxiety and stress to a situation, like she is not, I mean, she was just fussing. She's having some acid reflux, clearly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she's not a crying baby. She's a happy spitter, essentially. And whenever she does get fussy, I sing to her. I sing yeah, well, Christian song. I ain't over here like rapping out or anything, but
Oh, come
we're,
on.
but I remember like with Benjamin and Henry, like we would always joke around like with them as kids, and we'd always turn their tears into laughter. We'd be like, oh, well, this instead. And so a lot of people today, which I take as a massive compliment, just because I mean, I guess it is kind of me patting myself on the back, but I do take it as a compliment every time someone tells me that my children are great. And when somebody tells me I have good kids, because I'm like, oh, that's a reflection of me and Austin, essentially. Like when you hear that your kid goes away from you, like Benjamin just started big school this year, he's away from us for 8 hours. And when you get reports back, like his teacher called me and told me how great he is in class, like that makes me proud as a parent because you don't know how your kids are truly going to act when they're away from you. It's like a big it's a big thing. And so then like with
Yeah.
her, she starts to get fussy or upset. And then it's like, okay, so what can I do to comfort that? Or what can I do for that situation? So again, it's just being present, being aware. And so she does a lot of smiling. And when people say like, oh, you just have a good baby. And I'm like, I don't think I just have a good baby. I think it's the atmosphere and the way we talk to her and the way we have ourselves conducted around her. Just like you said, if I
Correct.
was like all stressed, yeah, and if I was like frantic or just like raising my voice or just like I have to get this, like I feel like that would definitely change people thinking I have a good baby. But yes, she is good. She's super easygoing, but I feel like that's because Austin and I also show that around our children. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense, but we gotta be
It
very aware of it.
100% it makes sense, and it's absolutely true. Um,
It's parenting 101.
yeah, you know, um, I truly I am very thankful, and every day I thank God that all three of my children still talk to me. And I'm not kidding when I say that. Like I by no means was perfect, and you only know how to do things that you're taught. And so the parenting that taught me how to be a parent wasn't the best. It wasn't the right way, and who knows what the right and wrong way is, but it's not the way I did it, I'll tell you. And um the anxiety and the crazy and all the things that makes it worse. It makes it 100% worse when you respond with patience and kindness and all the things, even to a child. I don't like being yelled at. I don't know about you, but I don't like it. And
No,
so when
sure don't.
somebody yells at me, it's like, well, geez, I don't know. That kind of hurts my feelings, and it makes me feel like I'm this big. Imagine a big person doing that to a child. It hurts me. It really
Mhm.
does. It hurts my heart. I wasn't real big on spanking and all the things. I did it. I'm sure I can probably count if I thought hard enough on one hand because I just don't like it. And but it is necessary sometimes. Um, the the attitude that you bring into the household, um, 100% affects your children.
I agree, which I think a lot of that goes back to these verses as well. I mean, when they're talking about how a female essentially holds herself, or the way she thinks, or the way that she prepares, or how her strength, all those things that I think are bringing back to the atmosphere of the home. Because I'll never forget whenever I was teaching full time, and then I had two little kids at home, and so I'd go and I'd work 9+ hours a day in a high intense special education classroom, self-contained. So it was very high, like intense job. And then I would all day as an emotional behavior teacher, that is literally a job where you have to have the highest level of patience to talk. And I was in middle school. So these are kids who are, they're thinkers, they're manipulators, they're, that kind of stuff. And so you have to talk to them and you have to rationalize with them and you have to do a lot of emotional well-being for that amount of time a day. So, as anybody can imagine, with me saying that, when I got off work, I had really nothing left to give. So I would come home, and by the time like we did dinner, I didn't want to talk to anybody. Like I came home just very crabby, and it had nothing to do with my family. It was just I'm tired. I've all day long I've been having to do this. Why would I want to come home and keep doing it? This is my like this is my wind down area. I just want to sit and do nothing. And so I mean, when I acted that way, it caused Austin to act a certain way because he didn't get to see me all day. I mean, he was working too, but that was our time to be together. So then it's like when I'm not showing any kind of like emotional happiness towards him. I mean, it's not saying I wasn't ever happy, but I was just tired. Honestly, it's like when people you're
Sure.
like, "Oh, how are you?" and they're like, "I'm tired." Like that's just how I
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
tired. And so
Yeah.
that affected my whole household. Oops, sorry, Charlotte. But then it's like now when I have the ability to think clearly, to think rationally for my emotions. And then now, whenever it's like I'm able to pour more into my conversations with Austin, I'm able to be more present. But it's just me thinking back on how I acted then and then how I act
Mhm.
now and what other people in my household, my kids and my husband, respond to me. It was almost like I'm the center of my household. And I know that that puts a lot of pressure on women, but we are the emotional beings. We are the
That's right.
emotional ones. Our husbands are the rational thinkers. They're the providers. They're the ones that's going to be like all they can think about is how can I provide for my family? And then they take
Right.
I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed this. Oh, I got peed on. Sorry. But if anybody sorry, trying. I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed this, but I feel like everybody in a household takes whatever emotion is coming from the mom. That's why the old saying, from the 90s, if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Like that's real. I feel like that is very real. And God
Well,
made us
listen.
that way.
Yeah, and there's an older saying that like my mother used to say, you always blame your mother. Always blame it on the mother. If you ever go to a psychiatrist, whatever, they always blame the mother.
Yeah.
Well, because and I don't know if that is so much true today as it once was. Maybe so. Um, but back then it was the mother in the home raising up the
Right.
family. And I said family because, our husbands can be part of that raising up. You've got to
Hmm.
do. And I don't, yeah, that just happened to me
No,
too.
I
And
just
I haven't, I'm
I very
old.
much yeah, no, I very much agree with that because
Mhm.
I just am a big believer. That's not saying that men can get away with certain stuff like that. I don't want people to think that's what I'm saying. I just am
No,
very aware, and I believe it helped my marriage tremendously to understand that me and my husband are not the same people.
yeah,
Like
right.
he is the provider. That is his mindset. So while I may be thinking of other things in a situation, that is not how he is thinking. But like for
Mhm.
me, I have to only worry about myself. And then I have found when I only worry about myself and how I am acting in my headspace and my emotional well being, it either positively or negatively affects my whole entire household because everybody is going to respond to how I'm behaving. I've even seen my
That's
two
right.
kids who are 5 and 3. I have seen them do things before and then they will pause and look at me to see how I respond because they want to know how is my mom going to respond to this? Does she actually think this is funny? Like things like that. So I just feel like, yes, that can put a lot of pressure on us moms. But again, if we really, in a non selfish but selfish way, if we just focus on ourselves and we focus on who's the person that I want to be, like, do I want to be happy and enjoying the moments and just, essentially living my best life? Or do I want to be anxious and always worried about the next thing? And because, like you said, when you are anxious and you have those things, it's going to filter into your whole house. But when we're happy and we're just content and present, that's going to filter into our home.
That's right.
Sorry, this
That's
sounds
right.
like very lectury. I'm sorry.
No, but it's very true. Um, and for me, and I didn't know this about myself until the recent years. I don't know. I guess I didn't understand. I don't know. Anyway, I I pick up on other people. So like if you and I connect, I'm going to pick up on your feelings. So it's not only your household, sometimes it's other people. Like other people
Yeah.
can go in a room. I can go in a room and it's like, okay, this I don't know about this. These I go home and I'm feeling some type of way that I didn't leave feeling, and it took me a while to realize that, okay, those aren't my feelings. Like that's what I absorbed on the outside. And now I have to pick it apart and get rid of it, because I don't know whose anxiety that is, but it's not mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and I think that there are probably a lot more people out there that have that, that don't realize it, that it's not always their own emotions that they're feeling. It's quite possible that they're bringing somebody else's with them and they don't know what to do with it because it's not theirs. So when you're in
Right.
the moment and your focus is on your heavenly Father, that's that's what you're thinking about. That's where you're heading in the right direction with the word and how you should. Um and that for me is how my anxiety, like how I can keep that in control, and not all the time. I mean, I still have anxiety. Like before we started today's episode, like I don't know, I was feeling some kind of something.
Yeah.
And I had to get it out and all the things, and I do feel better since then. And I don't really know what that was all about, except for, nervousness maybe. But I don't know. You definitely pick up on the energy.
One more episode in the Proverbs 31 woman series, and then we're going to be moving on to our next topic. So I hope everybody likes this video. This video I feel like was just very chaotic, but it works. It just works. We can blame the
Bless
baby.
her. Yes. Blame her.
I know you need to be changed. We'll blame her in the best way. So thank you everybody again, and we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.